this revelation that Ivanka Trump makes clothes in the in sweatshops, it's not really any news. I mean, did everybody suspect this? I mean, that's Ivanka Trump. That's Donald Trump's daughter. You know, it's all about money. It's not about ethics. There's nothing about ethics in that White House. And certainly there are a lot of designers that do this. They'll use sweatshops in foreign countries, but not all designers do this. I have a friend that's a designer. She's Taiwanese, and she's starting a company, and the company is going to be in the United States. And I asked her, I said, I was very specific. I said, so what, are you going to have the clothes made in China? And she said, no, we're going to have them made in LA. And I was like, really? She said, yeah, we're going to have them made in LA. Now, the fabric for the clothes, she said they're going to have made in Thailand, but the clothes themselves are going to be made in LA. And she specifically said one of the reasons why she didn't want to do that is because if you have your clothes made in China, or you have to be very specific who you use in these foreign countries, or they're just going to use the lowest price possible, the lowest, they're going to use sweatshop, materials and people to make their products. So you have to be very careful. Not everything is about money with all people, okay? And this notion that all people that are rich are fucking assholes is ridiculous. Not all people that have money are fucking assholes. It's a fact. There's a lot of people in this world that have a lot of money and they're ethical. Fucking Bill Gates. You think that he doesn't, think about his life in an ethical way and make sure to try and stay on this certain path? He does. There's many people like this that have money, that do business, that are ethical. Ivanka Trump is Donald Trump's daughter, okay? 96% of the people that voted for Donald Trump still are supporting him. This says a lot about our country. It does. It says a lot about our country that ethics really aren't important. And it's a shame. You have somebody in the White House, you have a whole family in the White House that ethics aren't important, and there's people in this country that are still backing them. At some point, I would think that that number has to drop. The 96% of the people that voted for him that are still supporting him, this would have to go down. And he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything. You have his daughter there that says one thing but is doing another thing exactly like her father. Don't think that Ivanka and Jared are, that far off from Donald, because they're not. We're hearing stuff about Jared Kushner too, It's a horrible situation. Don't support any company that is using sweatshops. Of course, you're going to buy stuff. I do it. I buy stuff from Walmart. I do. I will buy stuff from Walmart, of course. And a lot of that stuff is made in foreign countries. It's sort of unavoidable. But to be paying top dollar for designer clothes, which, I'm wearing Carhartt. I think this might be made in Mexico. But to be paying top dollar for something and know that that expensive garment is made in China, and the person that made that expensive garment made nothing, pretty much nothing, that they can just afford to, feed themselves, and probably barely. You're a horrible person. Why do you have to have those stupid designer clothes anyway? If you're gonna buy those designer clothes, maybe you ought to, buy cheaper clothes made in the USA and donate some of that money to charity. Ask yourself this: when was the last time? And this isn't just about anybody that's rich. This is about anybody that sees this video. Ask yourself, when is the last time you did something charitable for somebody outside your family? Have you ever done anything charitable? Do you walk by that guy on the street that's homeless? Nobody wants to be fucking homeless. You understand this? There isn't anybody that asks for mental illness and to live on the streets. Think about it. I know people, this is true, I know people that will feed a homeless cat, feed a homeless dog, are involved in animal rescue and shit like that. But when it comes to a human being on the fucking street, they won't give them $1. You're supposed to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Some people can't. Your self-centeredness is disgusting. This country is disgusting. It's full of disgusting people. It is. Ivanka Trump is one of them. She says one thing just like her daddy that gave her all the money. You know, Donald got his money from his daddy. That's how he made his money. You all voted for a motherfucking billionaire that was a silver spoon asshole from day one. You think he's gonna fucking help you? You think his fucking daughter, with all her facial surgery and shit, you think that this woman is looking out for anybody but her fucking self? You are a fucking idiot. You are a fucking idiot. Not all rich people are fucking assholes. This is true. Donald Trump was born with the silver spoon, but there's many people that are born with money that are fucking ethical. It's just a fact. It's a fact. I grew up in Clayton, Missouri, okay? Not all those people that I was around were assholes. Yes, there were assholes. I can think of growing up in Clayton, Missouri. I can think of right now, I can think of about 3 or 4 people that had a lot of money that it was just so obvious that they were assholes, and they're probably assholes now. But just because somebody is born with money, the silver spoon, does not mean that they're an asshole. That friend of mine that I'm talking about, she doesn't come from a poor family. But she's ethical, and everybody in her family is ethical. They are. There's like this social consciousness to some people, and some people there's not. It has nothing to do with if your dad or your grandfather had a lot of money. It has to do with how you're raised. Donald Trump, that's what you get. That's what you get. Donald Trump, this is true, was kicked out of school. I believe he was 12 years old. We don't know why he was kicked out of school, but his father was on the board of directors. He did something that the board told Donald Trump's father, you got to get your kid out of this school. We don't want him in this school. His father had to do with the school, but they told his father, no, Donald can't go to school here anymore. What do you think he did? Some people are born fucked up. Some people, because of their environment, it fucks them up. And it really doesn't have to do with if somebody is born with a lot of money or somebody has to work their way. There's people that are born poor, that work their way up, and look at Putin. Putin was not born with a silver spoon, and look at that motherfucking asshole. Some people are born being assholes. Some people are born being good. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some people are born just like everybody else and become assholes. There's so many variables. There's mental illness. There's personality disorders that drive these people to be assholes. We're human beings. There's more than one factor to come up with somebody like Donald and Ivanka. Not everybody with money is a fucking asshole. That's what I'm saying. And there's a lot of people with money that are fucking ethical. There's people that are relatively poor that have no ethics. They might have enough money to feed themselves. They might have an extra dollar, but they're certainly not going to fucking help the homeless guy on the street. Human beings are a fucking mess. They are. In general, you can say human beings are a fucking mess. And having somebody like Ivanka Trump, like you look up to this woman, Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump. Why? Because they have a lot of money? She didn't earn it. Her daddy gave her money. She has no ethics. She doesn't fucking care about the motherfucking person in China that's making the clothes. She doesn't care. Yay, it's a good deal. We get to make more money. It's so fucked up. I'm so fucking pissed off at my fucking country. This is the truth. I'm so fucking pissed off. I have considered many times, this is the truth, many times in the last 5 years, should I run for office? I shit you not. I have no fucking money. But one thing that I do have is something in my head that tells me that there's ethical things and there's unethical things. You have to have somebody in office that has like some kind of moral guideline that they sort of stick by. Like, this is the right thing to do. It might be the uncomfortable thing to do. Me going into politics would be fucking uncomfortable for me. That guy with YouTube. If I did go into politics, this is true. They could use my YouTube videos against me, clearly. Yeah, he's running for office, and I don't know what office I'd run for. Seriously. But we have somebody running for office that spits in dogs' mouths. Yeah, I will. I will spit in a dog's mouth. I won't spit in a human's mouth unless she was hot, I might. But you understand what I'm saying? I have faults. I do. I have a lot of faults. I haven't had a drink for 20 years, but I was a stinking drunk, and there's a lot of stories about me drinking. But even when I was drinking, I tried to have some kind of, moral guidelines in my life. There's certain things you don't want to do. There's certain things you should do, because everybody should pay their rent on this fucking planet. We're only here for so long. Just to be like, I want to make as much money as possible is fucked up. And the fact that my fucking country voted somebody like Donald Trump into this fucking White House has turned it into, it's like the Romanovs down there, like Chris Matthews says. The fuck is going on with you all? We had a Democrat in office before him, and say whatever you want about Barack Obama, okay? I literally am more conservative than I am Democrat, that's for sure. But when he was in office, I never had to worry about, him doing something so ethically fucked up. There was an intellectualness to him in that he thinks. He's a thinking man. Donald Trump does not think. His daughter might think, but she doesn't want to think too hard, I'll tell you that, because if she thinks too hard, she might realize that she's a fucking asshole for having her clothes made in China. You don't put somebody in fucking office just because they have a lot of money and you think that your life is going to be easier financially if the rich guy What makes you think that having a rich guy in the White House is going to make your life easier? It's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. I've said this before so many times. The average IQ is 100. It's 100. That's not very fucking smart. Being an intellectual means you think. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have a super high IQ. It means that you think about things. And if you think about things, you should think about, good and bad, which is the appropriate thing to do. That's not what we have in the fucking White House. We do not have anybody in the White House that does this. They don't fucking think. They think about themselves, and that's fucking it. I'm so mad I'm spitting. I am. Like, this is some shock that Ivanka Trump is fucking, using sweatshops. It's not a shock. It's par for the fucking course. I use a golf term. Doesn't that make sense? The motherfucker gave fucking our last president shit about playing golf, and that's all this motherfucker does. Everything that this motherfucker said when he was running for office, he turns around and says the opposite when he's in office. Do you all realize that? You 96% of you motherfuckers that voted for this man, Do you realize you were fucking lied to and you still fucking back him? Why? Why? Oh, he's got billions. Is that cool to you? Oh, he's on TV. Because you know him from that stupid show? You think you know Donald Trump? Look at what he did. Just look at what he's doing. He says one thing and does the opposite. That shit, that wall thing that he was talking about, you thought that he was going to do that? You're average or below average if you think that Donald Trump, all the shit that he said on the campaign trail that he was going to pull off or even, consider when he was in office. You're a fucking idiot. You need to think. You need to use your head. It's not an emotional decision. It should never be an emotional decision. You got to use logic, which is you thinking. You don't have to be super smart, but you have to try and think. Well, here's the pro, here's the con. What are we going to do? And you don't always pick, well, I get a lot of money over here, but this way I don't get much. Or I lose over here. Sometimes you need to lose money. That's just how it is. You do what's best. In the grand scheme of things, you don't slash shit from the EPA and say, fuck our environment, fuck my grandchildren, they'll figure it out. I'll have 10 years of making more money. I'm not going to be on this planet that long, so fuck it. Fucking, I got to work with the puppy. I'm fucking pissed. I swear to God, the last 5 years I've been thinking maybe I should run for office. I'm not lying. Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, the ex-drunk that has a whole history of drugs. But I'm not a fucking liar, I don't sit around and just fucking make shit up for my own fucking benefit like Trump does. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. You voted for this idiot with the fucked up hair. Yeah, I got great hair though, See, I could run for office because I got fucking normal hair. I look normal. He looks like a freak. His daughter, that is not her fucking nose. You realize that? I think she used the same plastic surgeon as Michael Jackson. That whole family uses fucking plastic surgery. Probably not Jared. He looks sort of fucking normal. Charlie the puppy was saying that Ivanka Trump looks rat-faced, and if she didn't have those clothes on and the $500 haircut, that she'd look out of the trailer park. Serious, and I think he's right. I think Charlie the puppy's right. Tell him, Charlie.
Ivanka Trump is a rat-faced bitch. I think that if she didn't have all those fancy clothes, she'd look like she was right out of the fucking trailer park. Fucking all her money her daddy gave her. I think she's a fucking loser. Her and her fucking... I hate fucking Trump, dude. I hate that motherfucker and his bitch daughter. What is it, the fucking Romanovs? Fuck Ivanka Trump. She's a cunt.
Charlie, you can't call Ivanka Trump a cunt. That's fucking horrible. Look, Charlie, I don't know if you should use those bad words. You're gonna get in fucking trouble. He's got a potty mouth on him, doesn't he? He's the potty mouth puppy.
I think Ivanka Trump is a rat-faced bitch.